This is the most difficult skill set there is to master in the world of salesmanship, and that's dealing with the indifferent customer. And the reason why this gets to be so tough is because it can happen at any time in the sales call. It can happen up front. You walk in the door, you say, "Hi, my name is Mike, I'm from XYZ company," and the person may look right up at you and say, "Glad to see you. We're 100% satisfied with our current vendors and our current suppliers. Not interested." This is also the area where when you get through the entire sales presentation, you've done everything right. You've qualified, you've asked the right agenda or set the right agenda, you've asked the right questions, you've supported with the correct features and benefits, you've asked for a great closing, and then at that very end, they'll look at you and go, "You know, we're just really happy with where we're at." The indifferent customer, those people that are currently happily satisfied with whatever they've got going on in their current situation, this is where the rubber hits the road as salespeople, because this is the person you're going to be dealing with most of the time. Most industries today are not dealing with a tremendous amount of growth. They're actually looking at how can you grab market share from one competitor to bring them over to our side of the street, or from one competitor to another competitor. And the only way you do that is to take somewhat satisfied or completely satisfied people and convert them over into your products and services. And that takes a little work, and it takes a real sharp salesperson to get through it. I remember when I was young and starting out selling, that when I got hit between the eyes with, "I am currently satisfied with my current supplier," I used to say, "I understand, thank you." I'd walk out, hop in my car, drive away. And I'm thinking back all those times going, I didn't even try. I just kind of gave it up over to the other competitor and said, "You know what, you are satisfied, you're a good competitor, I'm not even going to try to overcome that." But then I got into a selling skills program very similar to Selling by Design, and we started exploring different options and techniques. And what I really discovered was it wasn't that I didn't have the confidence to go after the competitor, I just didn't know how to go after the competitor. And one of the keys that we've learned over the last 20, 30, 40 years in selling is the fact that there is a process and there is a step to dealing with somebody who blasts you right between the eyes and says, "I'm happy, I don't even know why you're here." And the three-step process is pretty simple. One, acknowledge that they have every right to be happy with their current supplier. You're right, I understand that the decisions you've made in the past to do business with this company, with this product, they were the right decisions for you at the time because they are a good competitor. That is a fine product. So you acknowledge that they were right in the first place to go with the competition. The next thing you do is ask permission to probe. So you might say, "You're right, that was a great decision, I can understand why you're happy, but if you don't mind, can I just take a couple of minutes of your time and explore a little bit about this relationship you have and why are you so happy with that current supplier?" And in doing so, what you're going to ultimately discover is asking a few questions, uncovering a few hopefully golden opportunities within those contexts of answers that are going to be given. You then will begin to uncover some new opportunities. They may not be needs at this stage of the game, but they might be opportunities that you then can be able to address with maybe another product or another service that you have back in your tool bag that you can pull out now and begin to address this situation. So what we want to do is we want to probe to create the awareness of needs or the awareness of this opportunity. And we do that in just a few simple steps. The first thing that we do is we explore their current situation and say, "I understand you're really satisfied with this current supplier, but how are you dealing with," and then whatever the task might be that might be specific to what you're representing or what you know you have a solution for. How are you currently handling this situation? And by doing that, you get them to reflect back on, well, this is what we're doing. This is how we're handling the paperwork, or this is how we're handling that particular service issue. Then come back in and say, well, how is that working for you? And if the answer is, well, it's working fine, or it's, you know what, we could do better with that, or, you know, it's just good, but there's always ways that we can improve. Then the third step in this process is asking for the effect, which is, what is the impact that is having, either emotionally, monetarily, or physically on the organization? By following those 3 simple steps of exploring really the current situation and how is that working out for you and what's the effect on the bigger picture, you then begin to uncover, I think, most times, opportunities that you may be able to support with the proper features and benefits that make sense. When we get all done with this, we again really want to make sure that we're going after that emotional element on why people are motivated to change. That is the whole reason why we ask, how is that working for you and what is the greater effect on everyone else? The reason those 2 things are so important is simply because emotionally they know it's a problem, and emotionally they know that they need to solve it. And if you're there and you can, you've just won over the indifferent customer.